Welcome to AnewZ. I'm Dilek Tuna. These are the headlines for the hour. Russia attacks Ukraine's Kharkiv again, hitting the children's railway. Ukraine's Zelensky says strikes are intended for destruction. US President Donald Trump deploys the National Guard as Los Angeles protests against immigration agents continue. Turkey's first hybrid rocket reaches space and breaks altitude record. Ukraine's Kharkiv has come under renewed attack, with a children's railway park in the city's Central Park hit in the most recent strike on Saturday. It follows a wave of Russian drone and missile attacks over the last few days that have devastated residential areas, damaged dozens of buildings and killed at least 4 people.
On Saturday, Russia once again attacked Ukraine's Kharkiv with guided bombs, one of which hit a children's railway located in Central Park, killing 1 person and injuring 40 more.
Today is a day off. People come here to rest, and then a guided bomb strike. The children's railway was attacked. It's always full of people, full of children. This was a real act of terrorism.
The previous attack on Kharkiv was described as the most powerful attacks of the war by the mayor. Russian strikes between Friday night and Saturday hit civilian infrastructure, resulting in at least 4 deaths and injuring more than 60 people. Residential buildings were also hit. 18 apartment buildings and 13 houses were damaged in the overnight barrage.
These Russian attacks are not retaliatory. They are intended for destruction, complete destruction of life. And in every village and city, you see what Russian occupation really means. For more than 11 years, they've brought nothing but ruins and death. We must continue resisting. And I thank everyone around the world who is helping. Russia must be held accountable.
In retaliation, a Ukrainian drone attack targeting Moscow forced the closure of 2 of the key airports serving the capital, Russian authorities said early on Sunday. On Saturday, US President Donald Trump said he hadn't decided on a sanctions bill amidst growing pressure to stop the Russia-Ukraine war.
Well, I know the bill. I've studied the bill. We're going to see. I mean, if I think Russia will not be making a deal or stopping the bloodshed, 5 and 6 even, I've been saying 5 and 6, and now it's more, 1,000 a week soldiers being killed.
The latest strikes come amid increased efforts by European allies to push for an end to the war in Ukraine, as international pressure grows for peace and justice in the conflict.
Ukraine has released new drone footage showing a direct hit on a Russian strategic bomber at Belaya Air Base in Irkutsk. The FPV drone is seen flying a long distance before striking the aircraft, with smoke visible from early attacks. The base houses long-range bombers used in missile strikes on Ukraine. This marks another deep target operation in Kyiv's campaign against Russia's air power. President Volodymyr Zelensky said 117 drones were used in the so-called Spider's Web operation by the SBU security service, striking 34% of strategic cruise missile carriers. The Kremlin has launched a formal investigation, calling the strike a serious breach. Officials say Russia will respond when it sees fit, as military bloggers slam the incident as a major intelligence failure. US President Donald Trump says he's deploying 2,000 California National Guard troops to Los Angeles to respond to immigration protests. Tensions boiled over in downtown Los Angeles after a wave of federal immigration raids swept across the city. Protesters took to the streets as reports emerged of dozens detained.
Helmeted police in riot gear clashed with protesters in Los Angeles on Friday as tear gas and rubber bullets filled the streets. Demonstrators were met with flashbangs and tear gas after some reportedly threw concrete. Authorities declared the protest an unlawful assembly. The unrest followed a day of immigration raids across the city.
We are here, united in community, joined in our indignation as to what has happened in our city, in our neighborhoods, in our workplaces. Our community is under attack and is being terrorized. These are workers. These are fathers. These are mothers. And this has to stop.
Among the protesters, teacher Patty Rivas described the deportation of her aunt.
She is not a criminal. She has 3 kids, one who's a firefighter for Ventura County, and she literally risked her life to protect us. And so it's heartbreaking that they would take her mother away just because they can.
Legal access was also in question, according to immigration attorney Emily Robinson.
They just told us right now that they're suspending all attorney visits, so they're denying access to us attorneys who are here to represent clients.
And from another teacher, a plea of safety.
It doesn't feel like that when they're constantly attacking hardworking people, when they're attacking our friends, when they're attacking our neighbors. It doesn't feel like we're safe.
In a social media post, LA Mayor Karen Bass condemned the raids, saying, "We will not stand for this." The LAPD said those refusing to disperse risked arrest. Immigration officials have not yet confirmed how many people were detained.
In Colombia, potential presidential candidate Miguel Uribe Turbay is in critical condition after being shot 3 times, reportedly twice in the head during a campaign event in Bogota. A 15-year-old suspect was arrested at the scene. Uribe was airlifted to a local clinic where supporters have gathered in vigil. His wife has urged the nation to pray, while the Colombian government and international leaders, including US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, condemned the attack as a threat to democracy. The local government is offering some $730,000 as a reward for information in the case. Hundreds have taken to the streets in Nice, France, ahead of the United Nations Ocean Conference, calling for urgent and meaningful action to protect the world's seas. The conference, co-hosted by France and Costa Rica, is expected to gather global leaders, scientists and activists to tackle mounting threats to marine ecosystems.
On the sunny shores of the French Riviera, a wave of blue-clad demonstrators filled the Promenade des Anglais this weekend, demanding greater protection for the planet's oceans. Known as the Blue March, the demonstration drew activists, NGOs and ordinary citizens united by a common message. It's time for real action.
We expect this conference to lead leaders to take concrete measures to protect the oceans, particularly in France. We're behind. We have marine protected areas that aren't truly protected, and that's the key measure we wanted to push through this march, to have marine areas that are truly protected.
From marine biodiversity to the rights of coastal communities, protesters also highlighted the urgency of ratifying the UN's Ocean Treaty and safeguarding small-scale fishers.
Today and for the next week, we'll be here to protect our oceans, to ratification of the Ocean Treaty, and just to highlight the importance of the sustainability of small-scale fishers, marine protected areas and the coastal communities.
Nice will officially host the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference, known as UNOC 3, starting June 9th. Security is tight across the city, particularly along the promenade, where 86 people lost their lives in a 2016 terror attack. But this week the spotlight is on the seas. Heads of state, scientists and NGOs will address a wide range of challenges, from climate change and pollution to sustainable marine resources and biodiversity loss.
So we're trying to build a bridge between the science and the public, because sometimes it's difficult to understand what the scientists are talking about.
Hioth will be sailing in Sunday's symbolic sea parade, part of a flotilla welcoming the summit. He's not alone. The Okeanos boat will also take part, representing youth engagement and education. UNESCO's Marine Policy Chief, Julien Barbier, says the ocean is not doing very well. Rising sea levels, pollution and disputes over fishing and undersea minerals are just some of the urgent topics on the agenda. Previous conferences were held in New York in 2017 and Lisbon in 2022. But with the Mediterranean in view, all eyes now turn to Nice, where the world's ocean future is once again on the table.
Traditional rituals, millions of pilgrims and spiritual purification. Thousands of Muslims are gathering in the Holy Lands to fulfill Hajj, the fifth pillar of Islam. In Mina Valley, one of the key stages of the pilgrimage is being carried out through the ritual of the stoning of the devil.
Thousands of Muslim pilgrims took part in the stoning of the devil ritual in Mina Valley, Saudi Arabia. They threw small stones at 3 stone pillars called the Jamarat. This act reminds people of Prophet Ibrahim's fight against Satan. Hajj is one of the 5 important duties in Islam. Every Muslim who is healthy and can afford it must do Hajj at least once in their life. It shows strong faith and unity among Muslims. Hajj is also one of the biggest yearly gatherings in the world. Hajj happens in the 12th month of the Islamic calendar. This year it started on Wednesday, June 4th, and is expected to end on Monday, June 9th, depending on the moon sighting. This year, the total number of pilgrims reached 1,673,230. For the pilgrims, Hajj is not only a religious duty, but also a time for spiritual cleansing and showing Muslim unity.
Two Armenian teenagers who went missing after accidentally crossing the border into Azerbaijan have been safely returned to Armenia. The boys from the province of Sunik province were handed over to Armenian authorities. The 2 teenagers, identified as Karen Jangiryan and Andrei Gyanguts, had strayed across the border near the village of Aravus in the early hours of June the 6th. According to David Guluntz, head of the tech community, the boys had gone missing before it was discovered they had inadvertently entered Azerbaijani territory. After coordination between the relevant authorities, the teenagers were returned safely to the Armenian side. The Tech Community Administration released a photograph of the 2 boys after their return, reassuring the public of their well-being. Armenia has officially set the date for its next parliamentary elections, June the 7th, 2026. The announcement came from National Assembly Speaker Alen Simonyan, marking exactly 1 year until the vote. Armenia is a parliamentary republic where the legislative body elects the Prime Minister, who is effectively the head of the country. Earlier Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan has ruled out early elections, saying any change in government will come through the scheduled vote. Tensions between Georgia and the European Union are deepening. Georgian Foreign Minister Maka Bochorashvili accused Brussels of halting the EU accession process and unfairly blaming Tbilisi. Her comments came after EU Enlargement Commissioner Marta Kos warned that Georgia risks losing its candidate status, visa-free travel and a key trade deal unless it recommits to its European path. Bochorashvili insists the accession talks never truly began and claims the EU is using the process as political leverage. Georgia had already postponed negotiations until 2028, yet Western officials now accuse the government of democratic backsliding. Turkey has taken another major step in its journey to become a spacefaring nation. The country's first 2-stage hybrid rocket system, developed by Delta V Space Technologies, has surpassed an altitude of 200 kilometres in a recent test, setting a new record for this type of rocket engine. The achievement marks a significant milestone for Turkey's national space program and moves the country closer to achieving independent space access.
Delta V's two-stage hybrid rocket system reached an altitude exceeding 200 kilometers during a test flight, breaking the previous altitude record for hybrid rocket motors and marking a new chapter in Turkey's space ambitions. The breakthrough was welcomed by the Ministry of Industry and Technology. Minister Mehmet Fatih Kacır highlighted that Delta V Space, which is also developing the hybrid rocket motor for Turkey's planned moon mission, had secured another historic success with these latest tests. The Presidency of Defense Industries, or SSB, confirmed the achievement through an official announcement on social media. The SSB stated that the Delta V developed hybrid rocket system not only surpassed the 200-kilometer threshold, but also successfully completed numerous other challenging objectives during the test flight. According to the defense agency, this success represents a pioneering advance not only for Turkey, but also globally, positioning the country at the forefront of hybrid rocket technologies. The successful test is considered one of the fundamental building blocks for Turkey's long-term space goals, including reaching the moon, developing interplanetary missions, and establishing independent satellite launch capabilities. The SSB underlined that this critical system will pave the way for more advanced missions in line with Turkey's national space program objectives. The record-setting performance also reflects the growing maturity of the country's research, development, and production capabilities in space technologies. Delta V, in an official statement, expressed its appreciation to all stakeholders involved, particularly the SSB, for their continuous support throughout the development process. Turkey's hybrid rocket success is seen as a bold step toward greater self-reliance in space exploration and technology, as the country continues to push forward with its ambitious space agenda.
The Caspian coast turns into a gamer's paradise as the region's biggest celebration of gaming, tech and culture, Games Summit 2025, kicks off in Baku. With cutting-edge tech talks, esports battles and support from major players, the summit isn't just a festival, it's a launch pad for the future of gaming in the South Caucasus.
Imagine a place where retro arcades, board games, battle-hardened esports pros and international game devs are all meet under the Caspian sun. It's part conference, part party and 100% a celebration of how games bring people together.
Baku is hosting the Game Summit for the third consecutive year, bringing together game developers, esports players, cosplayers from across the region. As the largest event of its kind, it highlights video games, digital art, and the broader creative industries. The festival connects local and international industry leaders, emerging talents, tech startups, and enthusiasts in one vibrant space to foster collaboration and innovation. The event opens with vibrant performances that set an energetic tone. Following the show, Azerbaijani developers took the stage to share their journeys, encouraging others to dive into the expanding gaming sector. One of the field's pioneers, Farid Hagverdiev, says that as a developer, their goal is to create a gaming ecosystem in the country.
Our goal is not only to develop games, but develop gaming ecosystem in Azerbaijan. So we develop different games. We develop games on computer, on mobile phones, on different platforms. Also, we develop for virtual reality, augmented reality, and we do not only games, but we also do gaming events.
Beyond gaming, the summit drew in a colourful crowd from the cosplay community, celebrating creativity and character design.
Atmosphere here is very beautiful. I am cosplaying a character from Genshin Impact.
I'm cosplaying Mikuya. This is the first time I'm attending this event. I liked it very much. There are so many interesting people. I'll also definitely participate next year.
Some looked like they stepped right out of a video games, while some followed the latest trends. Going back to the industry trends, developer Arif Ismailov shared the challenges of the game development process.
I'm a solo developer behind my game that's called Biomass, and as a solo developer it's very challenging as I develop every aspect of the game by myself, from design, from art, from AI, from sound design, from level design.
More than just a gathering for professionals, the summit also inspires newcomers, attracts the curious, and welcomes anyone who simply enjoys the atmosphere.
Before, in our country, such events like this was not very popular, so therefore I was not aware of the fact that people are able to develop AI technologies or such as new generational games. So this kind of event personally made me realize that there could be many fun things as well as technological stuff out there in the world. So as a person who attended this event, I've been enjoying it so far.
The event is open to public during the weekend, making it available for more people to attend.
Azerbaijan's national Chovken team has won the European Championship for the first time in history. The prestigious tournament, organised by the International Chovken Federation, was held in Poland. In the final, Azerbaijan defeated Malta with a score of 6-2 to achieve this historic victory. Chovken is an ancient Azerbaijani national sport played on horseback, where players use wooden mallets to hit a ball into the opponent's goal. The International Chovken Federation also announced that continental championships will be held soon in other regions. The Asian Championship in Uzbekistan in September, the African Championship in Nigeria later this month, and the South American Championship in Buenos Aires in November. Azerbaijan's success marks a new milestone in the development of Chovken as a sport. These are the updates for the hour. Stay tuned to AnewZ for more updates and world news throughout the day.